Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be doing a Richard Bruhn film about war, titled A Symphony of War. Thank you so much, Richard, for sponsoring this video. I remember my history teachers were so interesting, so I would like to watch this video for a refresher. I hope you have fun watching this video as well as educating us in the comment section with whatever insights. If you're a lover of history or you're also here to learn whatever you learn, definitely share in the comments. It makes it more exciting. Let's unbox this video together, A Symphony of War, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining me. If you're just meeting me for the first time, you can call me Blessing Gomero or Mrs. Pempa, whichever you prefer. The Weimar Republic, first movement, 1919. What is this building? Wow, looks like fine arts. This is in black and white. It's like a space era type look. It's funny because it's a throwback. But it looks kind of futuristic. Do you understand what I'm saying? Berlin, Germany. I've never been to Germany before. Man. Wow. Looks so congested. And they're as busy as they were back then as we are right now, you know. Just maybe we have more modes of transportation options. Like I see more of buses and things like that, but maybe we got the train on, you know, faster trains and things like that. First movement. Would this be the Industrial Revolution? Because you can see that it's a lot of, the industry is booming. People are busy, you know, working and things of that nature. Oh wow. They're sleeping on the road and everything. So space lunch. Interesting choice of music. But it's just like, you know, it goes with how everything is progressing, like progressive music. So this description of the movie did say they're going to show the silence era, so different, different eras are going to be shown. First rocket launch, maybe. We're looking at first man on the moon. As you see these visuals, and you would like to explain some things that are not obvious to us, definitely, even if you think it's obvious, definitely type in the comments. Someone's gonna benefit from that. The Weimar Years Part 2. Guess we're still in Germany. Okay, the ladies look so elegant. Yes. So they've showed us daytime life. Now they're showing us the nighttime life, more of the entertainment of things, It's a great film. Great Gatsby type, feeling. Probably the Renaissance period. So I would say they started showing off a lot already as of back then. But then you would think exposure, like exposing the appearance, the body started from our time, or you can also see it from back in the day. Let's dance as the world goes to hell. Is that an actual song? If you lived during this time, I would be honored for you to like tell me your own personal experiences, or your parents told you about something about this period, time periods. Definitely leave a comment. I'm sure this film is very thorough, but it might not cover everything. So, and then I've never seen a lot of this footages, honestly. I mean, we've seen people wearing long coats and black and white films, but like certain footages are very unique. Like that whole swimming scene we saw, that looked really good. It's like evolution of the human race type of. That's the cool thing about history. Get to see where we've been as a human race and compared to where we are now. German Communist Party. Classical music, just as I like it. If you have ears, listen. Who is this singer? She's so captivating. This people working this way reminds me of, like, you know, the inner workings of a clock. To think that human beings were physically having to turn this, that is wild. That's like, now human beings are being replaced by machines. You see, we just saw them. Now we see the machines doing what the human beings used to do. And now we're even getting more and more computerized. We're in the time of AI now. It's a manual typewriter. I remember my dad used to be really good at these. Probably the formation of labor party, labor movements and revolutions, unionization. National Socialist German Workers' Party. Hi, that's Hitler. Oh yeah, Deutschland. Fascismo. I'm sure I didn't say that well. Man, the human race has been through so much. Different kinds of leaders, different kinds of systems. Rammstein, actually, a German music group, definitely likes to touch on political topics. So when I saw that Deutschland, it made me I got reminded of Rammstein. You should definitely check them out if you're not familiar with them. I'm not an expert by no means on Rammstein, but I've listened to, one or two of their songs, and one of them was called, I think Deutschland was one of them. Was it mentioned or a title? But good stuff. Wow, that's intense. Smash the facets wherever you find them. Wow. Mm, that is so sad. I wonder how many lives were lost during this period. Even the dogs are fighting. It's amazing that they were able to have this footage, in the midst of all this chaos. I wonder if it's a reenactment or the real thing. And well, it makes sense because even in the military units, they have different people with different responsibilities. So this must have been like the documentary group themselves, just like they have doctors and all kinds of people there. So it makes sense that they have the footage, but it doesn't minimize the risk to to be able to obtain such footage in the midst of all that chaos. Do you wonder what they're saying?
Deutsche Volksgenossen und Genossinnen. Am 30. Januar dieses Jahres wurde die neue Regierung der nationalen Konzentration gebildet. Der Kampf gegen den Marxismus wurde damals zum ersten Mal zu einem Kampfziel erhoben. Wir wollen nicht liegen und wollen nicht spenden. Ich habe deshalb es abgelehnt, jemals vor dieses Volk hinzutreten und billige Versprechungen zu geben. Es kann niemand hier gegen mich aufstehen und zeigen, dass ich je gesagt habe, der Wiederaufstieg Deutschlands sei nur eine Frage von wenigen Tagen. Von der Liebe zu diesem meinen Volk und hege felsenfest die Überzeugung, dass eben doch dann einmal die Stunde kommt, in der die Millionen, die uns heute verfluchen, hinter uns stehen und mit uns begrüßen werden dann das gemeinsam geschaffene, mühsam erkämpfte, bitter erworbene neue deutsche Reich der Größe und der Ehre und der Kraft und der Herrlichkeit und der Gerechtigkeit. Amen.
It's wild, the amount of power he commanded. Realpolitik.
Die nationale Revolution, in deren Verlauf wir heute...
The secret of propaganda is to simplify complex or complicated things, to make them as simple as possible, as simple that even the less ingenious man can understand what I mean. Simplify. And then, if you had found the form which tells a complicated thing in the simplest way, when you have found this form, then, secondly, repeat
That's
it.
true.
Repeat it every day. Simplify and repetition. That's the secret of modern propaganda.
Because people need to understand what you're about, and if you can't communicate that, then you lose your audience. So that's a skill not many have. Even comedians, they need to, they'll tell you the simplest of things, or like everyday stuff in the simplest of ways that, and they find humor in
Als
it.
unbekannter Eiserner diesen Krieg zu beginnen und
Wow,
nicht
the
zu
whole
ruhen,
place
bis
burned
endlich
down.
diese Erscheinung aus dem deutschen Leben beseitigt sein würde.
just like, I don't wanna use the word in awe, but seeing so many people. Third range. The burning of the books. I've heard about that, but this is the time I'm gonna see. First, I'm gonna see the visuals and get like a full context of what books were being burned. I mean, it's even at night and they're still on something that looks like a uniform, like very formal outfits, you know. I haven't seen anyone with a t-shirt. It's all button up, suit-like outfits, ties, like definitely try to make everyone so uniform. Life was like super intense back then.
Das Zeitalter eines überspitzten jüdischen Intellektualismus ist nun zu Ende. Der Durchbruch der deutschen Revolution hat auf dem deutschen Weg wieder die Gasse freigemacht. Und deshalb tu dir gut daran, diese mitternächtige Stunde den Ungeist der Vergangenheit den Flammen anzuvertrauen. Das ist eine starke, große und symbolische Handlung. Eine Handlung, die vor aller Welt dokumentieren soll. Hier sind die geistige Grundlage.
America, Albert Einstein. Wow. You know, one thing you notice about the past is even the kids, man, they were forced to grow up so early. Like when the times say like this, there's no childhood for you. It's just like that child that's forced to take care of the younger siblings because you know the parents are not around or they delegate them. Even the kids look so serious already. Sin life, you know. it won't be no surprise that they would have been recruited to the military early, at work early, all that stuff matures someone real fast. What's happening here? Maybe they're destroying the businesses of the Jews who lived back then in Germany, because it just showed, you know, all the propaganda against, oh, let's stop all this Jewish intellectualism. So, but I think some of this footage is probably from a movie. Not all of them seem like it's like all these people on mask. I don't think it would be, you know, the real thing, but just a depiction of, so mix of real footages and fictional characters. That's what I would think this was, because of the people in masks. Olympics. The one thing that unites us all, right? Sports. Canada. Woo! Watch him go. Wonder what his name is. I used to do high jump when I was in high school, so that stuff gets me excited. Short put, long puts. It's a sea of heads, a lot of people again, once again. Woo! Look like just the slow-mo makes it look like, you know, they're going for war. Athletes are amazing, yo. Look at that, unbelievable. Woo! Guts and discipline and genes. You know, for some it's all that, but genes can never override the discipline and working out. Woo! Look at that. Canada was once spelled with a K, huh? Wow. That music was so relaxing. Always loved that tune though. So beautiful, so heavenly. Oh, this area is looking less congested and very artsy. All this old school cars, man. It looks so cool. I remember this story from another song too. Learned a lot about history from music. This it's the famous when they try to launch this famous. I remember the name later, but yeah, there's a tragic story about that. Such a charismatic man, definitely. People just, ate off his hands. Beatles. Man, like I keep saying, this cars. If I were to see that car today, I would think it's some modern cars. This little sports car that look like this, they look really cool. Wow. So many people. I wonder how all these things affected like Germany, where it is right now in terms of population, because there were a lot of people back then in Germany. Never seen these footages before. It really puts everything in perspective. How many people do you think was in this arena? This is thousands and thousands. What about like 100,000, 100, I don't know, 3 million? And what address is about to happen? Wow. Wow, you can see people running from, ooh, look at some people, that thing crushed them. You can see it crushing them. Oh my goodness, so many people would have died. Wow. Wow. Definitely not I was thinking, given the title, we're just gonna see, you know, all the wars, but it's showing you so much more. March 1936. Oh, finally we see the kids smiling and happy. Everybody likes music.
Last night, groups of cheering Nazis tore up the borderline posts along the Austrian-German border to signify that it is now but one nation. Adolf Hitler, after a tiring day, slept in the Imperial Hotel within a block of the Art Academy, which years ago refused to accept him as a student. Meantime, former Chancellor Kurt Schuschnigg, the resigned premier, refused to leave Austria when he was told he was free to go where he liked, but that his 11-year-old son, Kurt, must remain as a hostage as a pledge of his father's discretion. And here's a bulletin from Paris. Wow. Premier Leon Blum's new cabinet made plans today to speed up the French rearmament program to meet the threat caused by Germany's annexation of Austria. And you are listening to a special broadcast bringing you the latest news from abroad in the European crisis.
European crisis.
Als Führer und Kanzler der deutschen Nation und des Reichs melde ich vor der deutschen Geschichte nunmehr den Eintritt meiner Heimat in das Deutsche Reich.
Remain as a hostage as a pledge of his father's discretion. And here's a bulletin from Paris. Premier Leon Blum's new cabinet made plans today to...
Had a really commanding presence. When he wants to speak, everybody gonna keep quiet. The crowd self-regulates too.
Als Führer und Kanzler der deutschen Nation und des Reichs melde ich vor der deutschen Geschichte nunmehr den Eintritt meiner Heimat in das Deutsche Reich.
Interesting. So basically, German is absorbing the different regions around it.
The Czechoslovak Shortwave in Praha, OLA5E, has just broadcast an address by Dr. Edvard Beneš, President of the Czechoslovak Republic. You will now hear the English translation of this speech.
I speak to you in a moment of international difficulties, the most serious since the World War. In these critical moments, I speak to you of ourselves, of our position in the midst of this disturbed world, and I speak to you all, to the Czechs and the Slovaks, to the Germans, and to the other nationalities.
The Prime Minister has sent to the German Führer and Chancellor the following message. In view of increasingly critical situation, I propose to come over at once to see you, with a view to trying to find a peaceful solution. I propose to come across by air and am ready to start tomorrow.
You ready?
You know what that means,
When
right?
I was a
They
little
fit in
boy,
the mask. That would be neutral.
I used to repeat,
nuclear gas.
if at first you don't succeed,
Release.
try again. That's what I'm doing.
In the words of
When I come
this
back,
out, but this is probably the original.
I hope I may be able to
original
say,
person who said so.
as
Not this
Hotspur
one
says
quoted.
in Henry IV, out of this metal danger, we pluck this flower safety.
Profound even in the midst of crisis, huh? British Airways been in business? Hundreds of years over.
The settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude to a larger settlement in which all Europe may find peace. This morning, I had another talk with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler. And here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine. Some of you perhaps have already heard what it contains, but I would just like to read it to you. We, the German Führer and Chancellor, and the British Prime Minister, have had a further meeting today and are agreed in recognizing that the question of Anglo-German relations is of the first importance for the two countries and for Europe. We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again.
Peace in our time, Chamberlain. I like this structure. It's nice. A horse and a person riding on it. Masonry. Stone arch. invasion of Poland. Anyone from Poland watching this right now?
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special news bulletin. Moscow, Germany, and Russia today signed a non-aggression pact. They have agreed that neither country would declare war against one another, and that neither one would come to the aid of a third party in case either nation was attacked.
That's some mega power, firepower right there. Imagine someone being in their house and they just throw like a bomb into their house. War is so sad. Sleeping horses, like people's. You can't even take everybody.
You will now hear a
You just
statement
have to run
by
who
the
you
Prime
can run
Minister.
to.
I am speaking to you from the Cabinet Room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany. You can imagine what a bitter blow it is to me that all my long struggle to win peace has failed. Yet I cannot believe that there is anything more or anything different that I could have done and that would have been more successful. Up to the very last, it would have been quite possible to have arranged a peaceful and honorable settlement between Germany and Poland. But Hitler would not have it. He had evidently made up his mind to attack Poland whatever happened. And although he now says he put forward reasonable proposals which were rejected by the Poles, that is not a true statement. His action shows convincingly that there is no chance of expecting that this man will ever give up his practice of using force to gain his will. He can only be stopped by force. And we and France are today, in fulfillment of our obligations, going to the aid of Poland, who is so bravely resisting this wicked and unprovoked attack upon her people. And now that we have resolved to finish it, I know that you will all play your part with calmness and courage.
At such a moment as this, the assurances of support which we have received from the Empire are a source of profound encouragement to us.
Western Theater. A phony war. lives lost. I wonder what warships are these ones, like what countries are fighting here? Is it still Germany and Poland, or Germany and Britain? Okay, England and France, because they combined forces. It's interesting because I read about all these different wars in the past, but now looking at them, I'm just like, it sounds like some of them sound like semi brand new information to me. But the more I watch, the more I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. I did read about these in the past. But putting the visuals in place makes a difference, you know. Now I'll just have these images to go to. It also helps with the memory when you can have the pictures.
I sought an audience of the King this evening and tendered to him my resignation, which His Majesty has been pleased to accept. His Majesty has now entrusted to my friend and colleague, Mr. Winston Churchill, the task of forming a new administration on a national basis. And in this task I have no doubt he will be successful.
Lightning War. I'm telling you, soldiers are so brave. It takes like a lot of guts. Oh, they almost collided into each other. See all the casualties.
109 in the door here. Oh, good show.
Und unser deutscher Stahl auf die Notbeißern. Deutschland, sieg heil!
If our will is strong enough, then nothing can fail. Germany, sieg heil.
So much destruction, like
that we children at home are full of cheerfulness and courage. We are trying to do all we can to help our gallant sailors, soldiers, and airmen. And when peace comes, remember, it will be for us, the children of today, to make the world of tomorrow a better and happier place. My sister is by my side, and we are both going to say good night to you. Come on, Margaret. Good night, soldiers. Good night, and good luck to you all.
the child should never have to go through that, you know. Oh yeah, the truce. Sabaton. House is just crumbling like sand.
The last time that I broadcast a message was at Halifax, Nova Scotia, during our visits to Canada. The world was then at peace, and for 7 happy weeks we had moved in an atmosphere of such goodwill and human kindliness that the very idea of strife and bloodshed seemed impossible. The recollection of it still warms my heart, and gives me courage. I speak today in circumstances sadly different. Women of all lands yearn for the day when it will be possible to set about building a new and better world, where peace and goodwill shall abide. That day must come. Meantime, to all of you in every corner of the empire who are doing such fine work in all our services, I would give a message of hope and encouragement.
2 oder 3 oder 4.000 Kilogramm Bomben wirft, dann werfen wir jetzt in eine Nacht 150, 180, 230, 300. Wir werden ihre Städte ausradieren.
Still see people very close to those buildings. Definitely refugee camps and shelters, because some people still have to survive.
Here is the midnight news. Up to 10 o'clock, 175 German aircraft had been destroyed in today's raids over this country. Today was the most costly for the German Air Force for nearly a month.
Ministerium für Volksaufklärung und Propaganda. Reichsminister Dr. Goebbels verliest die Proklamation des Führers. Sie enthüllt zum ersten Mal vor der ganzen Welt die Verschwörung zwischen London und Moskau gegen Deutschland. Der Führer zieht nach monatelangem Schweigen nunmehr in 12. Stunde die noch einzig mögliche Konsequenz mit den Worten: Ich habe mich entschlossen, das Schicksal und die Zukunft des Deutschen Reiches wieder in die Hand unserer Soldaten zu legen. Im Anschluss an die Verlesung der Proklamation des Führers gab der Reichsminister des Auswärtigen von Ribbentrop, von Beifall unterbrochen, zum ersten Mal der in- und ausländischen Presse die deutsche Note an die Sowjetunion bekannt.
Wow, the end of part 1. And so the story continued. Well done, all the people who participated in this film, editing it, putting everything together, choices of music. Very, very, very sad unfolding of events, and unfortunately we are at the mercy of our world leaders, taking us either to war or leading us in times of peace, and the casualties whose lives are cut short abruptly in all these wars. So definitely let me know what you thought about the film. Were there some clips you think they should have shown in this time period? And were some points like, oh yes, I remember that part, I remember this part from history lessons, from readings, from whatever you would like to share. And definitely was very interesting, very eye-opening, helped to put the timeline with the visuals all together. And yeah, just so sad just to watch all the destruction going on, the kids, the mothers, all the men that lost their lives, the cities that were destroyed, taken many years to rebuild. Yeah, very, very sad historic events. And it also even gave me like different, I guess, more visuals in terms of like the life of in terms of Adolf Hitler. We know how you know, that name is not associated with good thoughts because of the role he played in the time of his reign. But also just seeing how loved he was, even with, you know, I'm sure at the moment people following him thought they were doing the right things, but just loved, respect, even when there was a lot of people's life were lost, all thanks to him, cities destroyed and things like that, but people still followed him. They still, even as someone just watching the film, you could just see like he was someone that wielded a lot of power, of persuasion, and he had it naturally. It's unfortunate that, you know, the natural gift of oratory and how much he was able to attract people was not used for something different, but rather used, you know, to kind of kickstart all these wars. And, you know, they fight, the other countries defend, the other countries attack, they try to defend. So it's like an unending cycle of people trying to expand their territory, defend their territory, and going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But let me know, you know, if you're from Germany, what you think about the history of Germany, and if you're from any of these countries mentioned here, what you feel, just in general, like how the stories are being told in history, and what you would like to either clarify or what you would like to emphasize. Was it really necessary? Was all this worth it? We're all here to learn. Let's talk in the comment section below. A Symphony of War. I hope you enjoyed reviewing that with me. Thank you to Richard Bruhn for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to sponsor any video on this channel or support us, definitely become a member. Definitely check out the links in the pinned comment. Until our next video, love you guys. Bye.